Good evening, Tallahassee, and thank you so much for tuning in our Friday edition of FSU Weather. We currently have 71 degrees with some cloudy conditions, and the sun is going down Doak Campbell Stadium as we speak right now. Our current temperatures are 71 degrees, and we got some clouds, but it's a little bit clearer around our area. We got 63 degrees in Thomasville, 68 in Bainbridge and Quincy, and even down in Perry. It is a little bit warmer as well at 71 degrees. Our satellite and radar, well, we're currently having some clearer skies, but later on, those clouds will be coming in even further. So the next 8 hours, we will have some more clouds, and then as we get into tomorrow, that rain is going to be coming in from a cold front, and we will be speaking to you about that later on in the show. But for tonight, it is currently 50 degrees with some cloudy skies, with our winds coming from the east-northeast at 5 miles per hour. So we have some rain Saturday morning, highs in the 60s and lows in the 40s this weekend, and we also have some sunny and mild week ahead. So stick with us on FSU Weather.
TGIF, welcome to FSU Weather Friday edition. I know I'm happy for an end of another long week and some great weather to boot. I'm student meteorologist Zach Richards. You know, like I said, we've had some pretty interesting weather here in Tallahassee so far this year, and it's always nice to have a calm, clear day once in a while. Like yesterday was pretty nice and clear. Today the clouds have been on the increase, and we are going to raise those moisture and precipitation chances as we start out your weekend. So we're going to talk about that. Also, we're going to do this day in weather history to round out our week. Would you not believe some of the weather that we have seen in the past kind of puts things in perspective sometimes. So, you know, like I said, the first half of your weekend or so will be on the damp side, looking at South Florida probably for the greatest number of those chances. So we're going to take you around the state of Florida, also around the country to show you what could be on the way in the next week or so. We're expecting a big pattern change, and you know we are starting to get into the spring season. So for now, we're going to head things off to the wall with Melissa to start our show.
Thank you, Zach. So today it was 76 degrees with a low of 38, so a little bit below record, but around average for this time of year. So overall, it was pretty nice conditions temperature-wise for today. You can see that sun is setting over Doak Campbell Stadium and 71 degrees and cloudy right now. So overall, there is some cloud cover going on. As for the satellite, cloud cover is continuing into the next 24 hours. You see a few patches where it does clear up, but overall, it's going to stay pretty cloudy through our area. As for current temperatures, 71 in Tallahassee, 71 in Perry, 66 in Apalachicola. So there are some cooler temperatures starting right now as that cold front is making its way into the Tallahassee area this evening. For dew points, it's 35 in Tallahassee, 48 in Apalachicola, and 36 in Perry. So overall, it is pretty dry out there right now, not too much moisture going on. Upper level water vapor is showing that water vapor moving in as that low pressure system moves in with that cold front. So we expect drier air coming in behind that. Over the next 24 hours, you can see that cloud cover continuing as that cold front makes its way through. Not really looking at any real sunny conditions coming into the next 24 hours. So hopefully that'll clear out. As that cold front comes through, we will have rain chances coming through as well. So overall, tomorrow isn't looking to be the greatest day out of all, but hopefully it will clear up later in the day. As for tonight, 52 in Tallahassee, 54 in St. Mark's. Bit cooler down south, 56 in Apalachicola. So overall, temperatures are a bit lower than normal, but still staying pretty warm. For tomorrow's highs, 66 in Tallahassee, 66 in St. Mark's, and 66 down in Carabel as well. So looking at mid-60s for most of the area, and temperatures will remain there and begin dropping as that cold front makes its way through. Looking at the day ahead, 59 at noon and 65 at 3 p.m. and returning to 59 degrees at 6 p.m. Looking once again at showers in the morning and hopefully clearing up later in the night to make a pretty nice evening. Our rainfall forecast, you see there is a chance of rainfall, so we will look at about less than half an inch of rain. So not a whole lot of rainfall, but there is a possibility for some. 74 degrees as our marine forecast and 20-knot winds with a slight 3 to 5 foot chop. So overall, not the greatest day to be going to the beach, though we are expecting showers. So you might want to save your boating days for another day during the week. For looking at the week ahead, so those rain chances are 40% on Saturday, and temperatures will be cooling down behind that cold front, and then we'll be warming back up later in the week to look at pretty nice conditions. So we're going to turn it over to Christian with a look at the southeast.
Thank you, Melissa. Yeah, so the southeast, well, there's that cold front that we mentioned earlier, as currently a really massive system that's going around Arkansas right now. And looks like Texarkana and even Memphis is getting the biggest brunt of it right now. But when we look at the current temperatures, it is very cloudy and stormy in these parts. 47 in Little Rock, makes sense because the cold front is passing there already. And 59 in Shreveport, 62 in Jackson, Montgomery even warms up more towards us here in Tallahassee at 71. You might notice that Jacksonville is at 58 degrees, and that's probably because there is some onshore flow coming from that Atlantic Ocean, which we know is not warm at this time of year. The dew points right now, majority of the country you may see is nice and dry. However, around the Texas and Louisiana state line, it's a little bit moist, as well as parts of South Florida, central east to Treasure Coast, and a little spot in Jacksonville. It's 46 in Jacksonville, but down in Miami, it's 57. New Orleans, you're looking at 49, and Shreveport, 39. And now we're zooming closer to Memphis. Right now, it just had a big brunt right now. Looks like it's taking a little bit of a break, but it's going to be facing more of that system. Little Rock, same thing for you guys down the street. And right down in Louisiana, looks like Shreveport, Alexandria is also going to be getting that very heavy rainstorms. And that cold front will be moving even further down. And Alabama right now, you guys are pretty much in the clear. You're seeing mostly clouds. However, you should be getting some rainstorms as you get later into the next few hours. Birmingham, Montgomery, so make sure you are prepared for that. Maybe do not walk outside. I do not suggest it during that time. Now, when we look at our moisture forecast, it is primarily dry. That moisture is going to be passing through the Gulf of Mexico as we get into tomorrow, and the rest of the peninsula of Florida is going to be facing that as we get into Saturday afternoon into the evening, and South Florida is still going to be dealing with that moisture as we get into Sunday. But that storm is going to be passing by. We will be getting some of that rain showers in Tallahassee, and the rest of Florida is going to be facing that system as a cold front is going through the weekend. Right now, the storm outlook from the SPC, it's marginal just outside of Houston, right around the Louisiana and Texas state line. So keep an eye on that. And for South Florida, Miami, Treasure Coast, you guys are not in the marginal, you're actually in the non-severe. And so it's going to be primarily thunderstorms to keep an eye out for. As far as tonight's lows, it's going to be dropping down to chilly mid to upper 30s in Little Rock, Tupelo. Here in Jackson is 43, and Shreveport, you're looking at 41. For us here in Florida, it's going to be 50 in Jacksonville. Tallahassee is going to be 49, and of course, Key West is going to be nice and warm at 70 degrees. For tomorrow's highs, it's going to be a lot clearer for tomorrow. It's going to be better looking for you guys in Little Rock, Jackson, New Orleans. 63 degrees in Jackson, Shreveport 66. And we will be facing that storm around this time tomorrow. Orlando 68, 59 in Jacksonville. And Tampa, you will also be facing this storm. Miami looks like you're going to be getting a much rougher part of this with that thunderstorm, but it should be over by the time it is Sunday. So be prepared for that, and please be careful if you're driving on the road. But right now, we're going to pass things off to Melissa, who's going to talk about our great state of Florida.
So overall, at Panama City, you can see that cloud cover persisting over our state, so definitely not what we would expect for the Sunshine State. But that hopefully will be returning later in the week. As our current temperature is 71 in Tallahassee, 71 in Tampa, and down south in Miami, it is a bit warmer at 73. Those temperatures will be dropping later in the week as that cold front makes its way through. Pensacola and Tallahassee, it's very dry right now. Not a whole lot of moisture, but it's pretty comfortable out. On the other hand, down in Miami, it is a little bit more muggier. Overall, still not that muggy, pretty dry overall. Our satellite shows no rain coming through. There is some cloud cover moving into the Miami area, but overall pretty clear skies right now. As for Central Florida, that cloud cover is continuing a little bit further to the south, and to the north of Central Florida, it is a bit clearer. So overall, pretty nice conditions right now tonight as you may make your way through the day. For our satellite and radar up near Tallahassee more, you see that cloud cover is greater up in the north of Florida and is persisting as that cold front is making its way closer tonight and into tomorrow. So that won't be changing anytime soon. As for our beach forecast, 78 right now at Key West, Florida, and mostly cloudy with a 15-mile-an-hour wind. So overall, it's not horrible conditions if you're out at the beach, but maybe not ideal. For Florida's forecast for Miami, 78 tomorrow with chance of thunderstorms as that cold front finally makes its way down to the Miami area. And you see those temperatures after that cold front will be a little bit lower, but will be jumping back up pretty quickly. As for Tampa, you can see that it's 68 degrees, and once again, more showers as that cold front is making its way in, cooling down as well. Jacksonville is a little bit cooler at 59 for tomorrow, 70% chance of rain, and 62 for Sunday and 63 on Monday, with that sunshine finally making its way back in. As for the futurecast, you see that low pressure system moving in, bringing that rainfall across our Florida state. And overall, not going to be the greatest day tomorrow, but hopefully that will clear out quickly, and we will see that with sunshine once again. The severe storm outlook, Miami has a non-severe threat right now, so overall not a whole lot to worry about. You will have some bad weather, but nothing severe, nothing to be concerned about. As for the rainfall, we're going to have less than half an inch of rain in Tallahassee area. Down in Central Florida, we are looking between half an inch and an inch and a half, so overall a little bit more. Tonight's lows, 41 in Gainesville, 39 in Tallahassee, and a little bit warmer down in Miami at 62. And that rainfall is going to start tonight as that cold front continues to make its way across. As for tomorrow, 60 in Gainesville, 68 in Tampa, and warmer once again at 78 in Miami. So it will be cooling down tomorrow as that cold front brings in cooler temperatures into the next 24 hours. So now we're going to turn it off to Zach with a look at our national.
Yeah, thanks, Melissa. We're going to take a quick zoom out here, but first, 71 and cloudy here locally. So, just to kind of show you what's it like here before we take that zoom out, a beautiful look at the sun right now over Doak Campbell Stadium. Pretty nice conditions here. The almanac here today, low is 38 and the high was 76. The record, we're about 10 degrees off from the record, and thankfully I'm glad it's not 85 right now. 2002 though, we got down to 21, so it's still possible to get pretty chilly. Thankfully though, we are nowhere near that, and those lows will be hanging right around that mark for the next week or so before warming up. We'll get into that here in a second. Satellite and radar showing some of those clouds, middle level to lower clouds, kind of keeping things not bright and clear out there, but overall still remaining dry. Speaking of dry, relative humidities all across the southeast, generally below 50%, and in some cases down in the 20s. So, we're talking relatively little amount of moisture in the air. If you want moisture, you have to go over here by Shreveport and Houston, closer to where that storm system is approaching. There it is right now, the upper level water vapor, big, deep swirl you can see right there. It's a massive cutoff low, and it's going to be pushing its way into the southeast and really amplifying those chances of rainfall here in Florida. Next 24 hours or so all around the area. Overnight tonight, the clouds really start to build in. By tomorrow morning, those bands of rain start to fill in, and hopefully it's going to be tapering off by about this time tomorrow night. So not a whole weekend washout. You can see the rain is starting to thankfully push off to the east. For tonight's lows in the area, let's talk about 51 in Bainbridge, 50 in Thomasville. So overall pretty mild, 51 in Monticello, a little warmer down here by the coast thanks to that maritime influence. And tomorrow's highs, 63 in Valdosta, 63 in Perry. A little bit cooler there where we expect that rain to hang around. Mid-60s farther off to the west. We expect you guys to get a couple more hours of sunshine, so thankfully that's some good news for you. Marine forecast, 74 degrees. That sounds nice, but unfortunately we have some of those showers around. Winds are going to be out of the northeast at 20 knots. seas 3 to 5 feet, and of course rain in the skies. So maybe not the greatest day to hop out there on the boat. Day ahead tomorrow, once again, expecting those rain showers to continue in the morning hours, warming up to the mid-60s or so. The week ahead, looking overall pretty nice out there. After tomorrow, not really a good chance of rain, and warming up 2 to 3 degrees every day by the time we get into the middle of next week. Maybe getting up to those 80s by this time next week, so could be summer knocking on the door. All right, Christian's going to pass off now at the desk and talk about this day in weather history.
Yes, thanks, Zach. And like Zach said before, this day is kind of wild in our history, and especially since it is late winter and transitioning into spring. So, and of course, there's Tornado Alley that starts to become more active. So I have a few years here with some wild stories. So first, back in 1962, the Great Atlantic Storm caused $200 million worth of property damage. That's pretty significant. And so those winds along the coast reached 70 miles per hour, and there were as much as 33 inches of snow in the mountains of Virginia. That is pretty crazy. And so fast forward into 1989, we had two tornadoes. One of them was a strong EF2 tornado, and the other one was a strong EF3 tornado. That one injured 23 people in Grantville, Virginia, Grantville, Georgia. And in 1990, just the following year, there were thunderstorms that produced as much as 3 inches of hail in Colorado Springs. And so, ladies and gentlemen, when it's this time of year, especially if you're in Tornado Alley, you must be very careful. It is prime season for those tornadoes to storm and to spring up, and even those winter storms sometimes could be very hectic. As you can see, those 33 inches of snow in the mountains of Virginia, I think that's pretty crazy. And if only it would not snow as much, because that is insanely dangerous. It can get very heavy. It can damage your house, and you have to shovel your car out of the driveway and even your car itself. So hopefully this year it won't be that crazy, but then again, it is just 2021, and it's almost part 2 of 2020. But for now, we're going to pass things off to Zach, who is going to talk about the rest of the national forecast. Zach?
Yeah, thanks, Christian. And let's take a zoom out here real quick. When we look at the national picture, it's tough to remember sometimes that the weather is all connected. And while we've been seeing a lot of rain here in the eastern half of the country, not so for here in the Intermountain West and parts of the desert Southwest. Now you might be asking yourself, how can you have a drought in a desert? Well, the past couple of months have been their rainy season. They do expect at least a few inches of precipitation. Couple that with the mountains supposed to get some, several feet of snowfall this time of the year, and if that does not fall, things can get really rough for parts of California. Now, let's talk about where the rain is falling right now. Where I'm pointing to is a nice cut-off little low-pressure system. It's going to make its way towards the Tallahassee area, and, give Florida a nice soggy start to their week. However, we also have another cold front here draped just north of town. It's going to kind of slide in. Things are going to be around 10 degrees cooler tomorrow than where we were today, but generally cool weather here in the northeast and rainy weather here in the midsection. Upper level water vapor showing that great big swirl there where that cutoff low is defined. All the moisture here in those teal colors getting pushed up ahead of the storm, and some of that dry air getting advected down there towards Houston and heading towards the Gulf of Mexico where you see those brown colors. So, satellite and radar, if we're going to zoom up now to the northeast, here's look at Lake Erie as we head up towards Buffalo. There, the lake effect machine is really starting there just south of Buffalo. We have some bands. Down there towards I-86, could have some rough spots there. Down here towards Little Rock and Memphis, the I-40 drive, nice drive across America. A lot of truckers on this route. You could see the heavy rainfall periods at times. As we get over here towards Memphis and, of course, down towards Little Rock, like I said, several bands of rain, and we're expecting this to continue for the next couple of hours as the storm slowly starts to slide off to your south. There in Louisiana, Alexandria over towards Jackson, some light showers, maybe a little bit heavier there on I-20 in places. Spc Storm Outlook, mostly non-severe. We still are keeping that marginal risk around for some small hail and potentially, marginally damaging winds around 60 mile an hour or so. That really hasn't verified today, but we do want to show you that threat just in case something materializes closer to sunset. Vancouver, Seattle, down towards Portland, another round of rain and snow for you guys. You know, the freezing levels are kind of high, so of course in the cities it's going to remain rain, but more of that critical snowfall needed for the mountains to prevent the drought from getting any worse out here. Futurecast is going to show a continuation of that. We get a break as we get into the day tomorrow, and then Sunday, there comes the next round, yet another storm system bringing more moisture into the Pacific Northwest. There we see more showers and storms there off the coast as we get towards Sunday evening. Rainfall forecast generally after the mountains, light, but here along the coast, anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe down here towards Medford, looking at 2 to 3 inches of rainfall, maybe even up to 5 inches. Current dew points dry all around the country except for down here in the southeast, right there around that low, bringing up a little bit of Gulf of Mexico moisture. Feels like temperatures right now, once again, big warming trend here in the plains. You can see where all that warm air is getting pushed northward, and that colder air mass kind of sitting right now over the northeast. Tonight's forecast generally showing you where, you know, milder, especially compared to where we have been the last month or so here across the midsection of the country. Once again, chilly here in the northeast, but not as cold as it has been. And here in the south, if you really want somewhere where it's not too cold, New Orleans, Tallahassee, Tampa, Miami, anywhere around the Gulf, we're going to keep those temperatures mild. And tomorrow's forecast overall showing more of the same, warm in the midsections and cold on the coasts. Now your 10-day temperature outlook, how are we looking beyond our 7-day as we get into the rest of March? Definitely looks like above average conditions. This isn't really showing you how much or warmer or colder it's going to be, but how certain we are of it. Colder along the western half of the country and much, much warmer along the eastern half. Melissa's going to take a look at our weekend forecast now. What can we expect?
Well, tomorrow isn't looking like it's going to be the best day to go out. That Futurecast is showing that low coming across and over Florida as that cold front is making its way over, bringing in a lot of rainfall tomorrow. You see up to a ½ an inch of rain tomorrow expected for the Tallahassee area, and more so down south in central and southern Florida. So overall tomorrow it might not be the greatest day to head out, but hopefully it'll clear up a little bit later in the evening. This weekend, FSU versus Virginia, first pitch at 6 p.m. We're looking at a temperature of 69 degrees and pretty cloudy out. So overall, not bad conditions, keeping at cooler temperature and greater cloud cover. So won't get too hot and shouldn't be raining when you're out there. 69 tonight and 55 at 8 p.m. and 54 at 10 p.m. So it will start cooling off tonight. So if you're going out, it's just going to be a little cooler, but you probably won't need a sweater out there. If you're planning on walking your dog tomorrow, you might want to wait until a little bit later in the day. We're expecting those showers to come through at 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. and hopefully clearing out around 11. So if you're planning on walking a dog, you might want to wait out the rain, see what happens a little bit later. For Saturday, Florida State versus Notre Dame for basketball, 42 and mostly clear, so overall pretty nice conditions, but a bit on the cooler side. Our 3-day weekend weather, 66 on Saturday and Sunday, and then warming up to 69 on Monday. Tomorrow isn't looking too good, but hopefully it'll be clearing up into the next 2 days. So we're going to take one last look at our local weather with Christian.
Yes, and so we are seeing some clouds right now, and it may seem partly cloudy right now, but it will get more covered in the sky with clouds. We are sitting at 71 degrees, and our winds are coming from the north at 7 miles per hour. Now, today's high was 76 with a low of 38, so we were a little bit above average from usual, but we are not as hot as the record high or as cold as the record low. Now, right now we are currently having some partly cloudy skies passing by, but as we get into later on, those clouds will be coming in even further east right here in Lake City, Jacksonville. North Central Florida is in the clear for now, but it will be filling up as well with those thunderstorm rains as the low and the cold fronts passing by. We're 71 in Tallahassee, 67 in Bainbridge, 68 in Quincy, 63 in Thomasville, and 66 in Valdosta, all with clear skies. Our dew points is sitting at 35 degrees, so it's fairly nice and dry. 36 in Quincy, 37 in Bainbridge, and 43 in Thomasville. Now, the moisture forecast, most of that moisture that is coming out from Texas, Louisiana area is going into further the Gulf Coast, and it will be heading even further southeast into the majority of the peninsula of Florida throughout the weekend. So you can expect to see some very moist days with that humidity. That storm is passing by Saturday afternoon, all day Saturday. And Sunday, into Sunday, Miami and the rest of South Florida is going to be seeing some more of those thunderstorms, heavier rain. And for tonight's lows, it's going to be 52 in Tallahassee, 51 in Quincy and Bainbridge. We are going to start to see that rain as we get into Saturday. And it's mainly going to be hovering in the lower 50s in our region, but along the coast, it's a little bit warmer at the mid-50s. For tomorrow's highs, our entire region is going to be expecting that rain, and it is going to be 66 for us in Tallahassee and Quincy and St. Mark's, and it's going to be a little bit cooler in Valdosta at 63 degrees, as well as Perry. And so when we look at the day ahead, lunchtime, it's at 59 degrees with that rain passing by, but later on in the afternoon, it's going to warm up at 65 with some clouds still lingering on in the sky. But by the time it is almost dinner time, 59 degrees, cooling down a little bit again, but at least we can still see some of that sun getting exposed. If you're going to go out fishing tomorrow or even to the beach, it's going to be a reasonable temperature, but not in the best case for that rain that's coming in. When we look at the week ahead, we're going to have a 40% chance of that rain coming in tomorrow. Looks like for the rest of the week, it's going to mainly be either partly cloudy or nice and sunny. And it's also going to be gradually warming up as we get into next week. We are going to see the mid to upper 60s on Monday and Tuesday, and it's going to be warming up into the 70s and possibly even the 80s by the time it is Friday. And now we are going to be closing the show with Zach at the desk.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Christian. You know, I love to see a 7-day when there's something to look forward to at the end of the week. And, you know, as a meteorologist, if there's no thunderstorms to get excited about, at least it can be sunny and warm and nice that everyone can enjoy it. There we go. If we can at least get through the day tomorrow, guys, we have one little rough patch to get through, and then we are warming up 3 to 4 degrees every day. You know, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we're breaking that 70-degree mark again. And then our lows finally start to warm up again as well. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, we're approaching 60 for the low and those mid-80s for the highs. And, you know, long-range trends, as I kind of talked about on the national, indicate the eastern half of the country more than likely will kind of remain above average for the foreseeable future after that. So is this officially, you know, this is definitely spring and a fast track into summer? Well, it's remaining to be seen, but signs are pointing to we're most likely going to remain warmer than not. So just something to keep in mind as we get here into the next couple of weeks. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/FSU Weather, and like us on Facebook at FSU Weather as well for all of our latest updates. And you can watch us live on YouTube anywhere in the world, anytime at youtube.com/FSU Weather. And follow us on Instagram, of course, at FSU Weather. And please send us those weather pictures. We love to get pictures from wherever you might be. Send us your weather story, and we'll make sure to put it on the air right here on FSU Weather. You know, it's been a fantastic week, and you had a choice of what to do with your evening, and you spent it with us, and we all humbly appreciate that. Be sure to tune in every weeknight. I'm student meteorologist Zach Richards, here live in Tallahassee. Thank you very much, and have a great evening.